This is a Kansas State Wildcat. I know that for a fact.
For a fact.
Yes, for a fact. I'm just, it's either, like I said, it's either Josh Hayes, the nickel corner, which makes probably a little bit more sense, or it's Deuce Vaughn. So it is either Josh Hayes or it's Deuce Vaughn. It's one of the two.
Deuce. I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Somebody from Walter Football said the Bucs are taking
Josh Hayes. There we go.
Josh Hayes,
Yep. There we go.
your newest Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
Josh Hayes. Yes.
Proud
Yes.
moment for SR.
Yes. Very happy. This guy can play, man. He had, I want to say 11 tackles against Iowa State in a 10-9 throwback game. People think Big 12 is like arena football. It's not anymore. It used to be with the air raid days. We actually play some defense there. Josh Hayes is he's a player. Again, only played 1 year at Kansas State, but he played for 3 years at North Dakota State. And I'm pretty excited that this guy is coming here because I was tipped off that this was a guy on their radar. So much so I was not allowed to report it. So he would have been a Bucs best bet, but I could not say anything. From Lakeland, Florida. Yep. I believe he was in for the local pro day.
The last 3 picks have Florida ties.
Yep. Yeah. The Bucs do like Florida players because it's a different environment down here from a tropical and subtropical standpoint. It is it's a climate that it's very humid, very hot, and some players that like Vita Vea had a really hard time his rookie season as someone who's from the Pacific Northwest coming down here and playing. And I think he made the mistake of training up there and not coming down here to train. And training camp was kind of brutal for him. So Josh Hayes, a player that only played at K-State 1 year, had, I believe, a forced fumble. I'll pull up his statistics right here, and we'll kind of go through those. But was a little bit more of a prominent player at North Dakota State. At North Dakota State in, let's see, Kansas State last year, he had a tackle for loss, 72 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, a forced fumble, 7 pass breakups, played a lot of that. And we talked about it earlier. A lot of that star safety, that slot nickel position, and the Bucs view him as their nickel back. So he will be in the mix to play nickel, and ran a 4.44. Remember, Todd Bowles was at the Kansas State Pro Day. It wasn't
That's right. He spoke there.
Yeah, it wasn't just for Felix Anudike-Uzomah. It wasn't just for Julius Brents. It wasn't just for Deuce Vaughn. It was for Josh Hayes. Now, it's a little ironic that Deuce Vaughn comes out, and I know the 5'5" size it's an outlier, right? And he may even go undrafted. But for Josh Hayes, who is nowhere to be found in any of these draft databases, right?
Not on the
to be
beast.
drafted ahead of Deuce Vaughn is interesting. But we talked about this, Matt. I had to sit on this, right? But I prefaced it earlier.
You did a good job of keeping it together.
Sometimes you draft a guy in the 6th or 7th round that has an undraftable grade. Keith was a prime example last year in the 6th round. And so with Josh Hayes now, he will have a chance to be that slot, that slot.
Yeah. Play
nickel slash
compete for the nickel role.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think this is, I think it, John Ledger says, don't think anybody expected Josh Hayes to be drafted, but I know Pewter Report will be happy with the K-State guy. Yeah. I knew about it. I just couldn't report it.
I can confirm that Scott knew about it. He sent him over to me.
I did.
Weeks ago.
Yep.
So we have the receipts via text message.
Yep. Not that it means a damn thing. Not that I care, but you're right. Yeah. It's sometimes in the information procurement business, you have to do some bargaining a little bit.
He was
So
Dane Brugler's 89th
Yep.
ranked corner.
89th ranked corner, according to Dane Brugler. And I think part of that reason is, again, he played only at Kansas State for 1 year, did a damn good job. He showed up and ended up being a starter. But then at North Dakota State, where he played for the Bison defense, again, he's a former teammate of Cody Monk,
yeah.
right? So these guys were teammates. And actually, that's something, Sly, when you go in there, you might want to go in there and see if you can get him on the interview. Ask him about his North Dakota State days playing with Cody Monk and being reunited here in Tampa.
And ask him if he knows Scott.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But he was a 13-game starter last year at K-State, began his career at North Dakota State under Chris Lyman, who is the Kansas State head coach now. And in 2020, he played in the first 6 games, started all 6 games at cornerback, tied for the team with 30. And then he left the squad and then came back and, or actually he transferred to Virginia, played in 3 games, didn't really emerge there, did not have that smooth transition. Sometimes when you hit the transfer portal, it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. So he transferred again to Kansas State to be reunited with the coach that originally had him at North Dakota State. And it worked out there. He helped K-State.
Maybe the Bucs will hire him next.
Helped K-State win the Big 12 championship and played a big role in that defense. But he had, I believe, 4 interceptions at North Dakota State, 2 in 2019, and then 2 in 2017, which was his first year, I believe. So, and he also helped the Bison beat James Madison for the FCS National Championship in 2017. And then also helped the Bison win the national championship again in 2019. So
Aaron's Vids 2 wants to know, can he tackle?
yes, he can tackle. He is a hard-hitting guy. He's a good tackler, and he's fast. He's one of those guys that when you watch him on film, he's a little bit of a blur. And now the 4.4 speed that's fast,
Right.
But his play speed's even faster.
Again, fits the mold of everything that Jason Layer's been talking about since the combine. We want to get faster. We want to get stronger.
Yeah.